Actively I'm tracking apparitions in my veins. Check my swing, ghost writers, I'm a lefty. Y'all brag about your flow, I'm ghost riding on a jet ski. Don't test me. Switch it up, Mickey Mantle in his prime. In the Bronx, dropping bomb after bomb like a B-29 on a Nagasaki dome. No tattoos, I bear arms. Spill your sake on these balls. EARs like Tawagachi. Hips track on Kawasaki. Spin your wheel, that's Yamasaki. Do the math, I'm Fibonacci. Use zeros, I'm the one. One trigger, 2 bullets, 3 millimeters. 5 bullies lay dead. That means 2 I snap with a strap. That's no cap. Whoever sees this and subscribes right now will get a free cap. No lies told here. What's going on, YouTube? It's Knox Hill, and we're back. We are going to make history. Ever since I've been reacting to ERB and been doing my Friday series, they have yet to drop something new. So this is the first time ever that they have dropped something brand new since we have been reacting to them. So I'm excited. I'm too excited. I'm not waiting until Friday. We're going to do it right now. We got Richard the Lionheart versus Ragnar Lothbrok. But before we go any further, guys, I'm going to give a quick shout out to the song in the intro. If you guys like that, yes, I'm a rapper myself. There's a good chance you like my breakdowns, the way that I think about music. You'll probably like my music as well. I have a new album, Chaos Theory, 20 tracks of blood, sweat, and tears, heart, and soul. If you want to support me and support the channel directly, I'll put that link below. But anyways, you know what we're here for. ERB, step back up to the plate. Let's see what you got.
This video is sponsored by Rise of Kingdoms.
Who?
Richard the Lion versus Ragnar Lothbrok.
I love those, we call them orchestral impacts. And it sounds like there's a little bit of brass behind it. Heard some strings too, but it's just like, it's like a movie trailer. Like Inception or Tenet. It just goes and just rocks out on that bass end, and then you let it breathe for a second, and then we hit you one more time with it, and sounds almost like the beat of the war drums as we're getting ready to go into battle between the Viking badass and the French turned Brit. Yeah, that's right, Richard the First, Ragnar Lothbrok. We're here for it.
Lion versus Ragnar Lothbrok. I'm Richard the First from the Third Crusade. That only leaves room for you in second place. The chivalrous.
That's clever. That's a nice little bar to start it off with, because he's Richard the first of his name and his lineage. And I can't remember the name of his family. It begins with a P, but they ruled England for over 300 years. Even though it's funny because he was from Normandy in France, and he didn't actually spend much time ruling England, but maybe for another day. But so he's the first, and he's on the Third Crusade, which there were 3 crusades to retake Jerusalem and claim back the Holy Land. So he was on that Third Crusade and led that. That's kind of where he earned his name, through his military prowess, Richard the Lionheart. So basically, if you take 1 and 3, well, what's left? 2. So you, Ragnar, second place. Nice.
First from the Third Crusade. That only leaves room for you in second place. The chivalry. The first from the Third Crusade. That only leaves room for you in second place.
Right there, we've seen this happen in other ERBs. That is a very English way to flick someone off, giving them the middle finger, pretty much. And how did that originate? That is an English and a French story, where English, the longbow shooters, right? So when the French would capture them, because they pissed off the French so much, because the French didn't have a longbow of that distance and strength at the time, and they would just fucking pick them off in battle. So when they would capture English archers, they would cut off their 2 fingers, right? Was it both fingers they cut off, or just one of the fingers? But anyways, they cut off the fingers so they couldn't shoot their longbows anymore. So one of the ways that the British got back on the French after the battle or in battle was they would hold these up. Meaning, yeah, you haven't cut these off. Fuck you. All right, let's keep going.
I'm Richard the First from the Third Crusade. That only leaves room for you in second place. The chivalrous swinger of the sword and mace. And
nice.
I kill you when I spit like a pit full of snakes. I'm the #1.
Oh, that's mean. That's mean and so depressing at the same time. Ragnar, according to history, died by being thrown into a pit full of vipers. And then on the History Channel in the Viking series, they also portrayed that. And yeah, it just sucked because he made the whole series for me. And they killed him off, and then they still ran 2 seasons afterwards. It was just such a, yeah, anticlimactic death, really. But also nice bar playing off of the spit. Like us rappers, we're spitting that venom. So he's spitting that venom. Richard the First, and then, yeah, pit full of snakes. Sad face for Knox.
Swinger of the sword and mace, and I kill you when I spit like a pit full of snakes. I'm the #1 dick, rising up to make you feel small. My battering rhymes.
I mean, it's not a proper ERB unless we have the dick joke, but normally we have to wait a little bit for the dick joke. This time, no. You guys get the dick early, prematurely. All right, stop it. Just stop it. So Richard, shorthand for Richard, feels small because his PP is large, and he's saying you have a tiny one. You're not very gifted down there. We've spent enough time on this. I'm just gonna keep doing things with my hands because I can.
A pit full of snakes. I'm the #1 dick, rising up to make you feel small. My battering ram slams through your shield wall. I'll announce.
Was that intended to be placed there? Goddamn. That's what she said. All right, we can go so many places. Stop it. Stop it. My battering ram breaks through your shield wall. After having a dick joke, that's a little bit convenient to have that right there. Almost like he's sodomizing Ragna. But in military terms, the shield wall was used a lot by the Vikings to protect themselves from arrows, from attack, and it was like their go-to formation. So he's battering ram, and he laid siege to a lot of cities during his time, so battering the walls through breaking down the Viking defense.
Rising up to make you feel small. My battering ram slams through your shield wall. I'll announce at the next of your things that I'm chopping through your family like boneless wings. Of course you gotta.
Buffalo Wild Wings are delicious. Boneless wings barbecue, I'm telling you. So, oh, the boneless bars playing off of his son, Ivar the Boneless. Now, I did like the character of Ivar in the TV adaptation, that's for sure. So, chomping through like boneless wings and then announcing your next stings, right? I said ting and things, playing their raids and stuff, so announcing at the next of your things. So we got some historical references going on here.
Battering ram slams through your shield wall. I'll announce at the next of your things that I'm chopping through your family like boneless wings. Of course you got avenged by a kid with no bones. Your own story ended worse than Game of Thrones. Your son killed you.
That hurt me on multiple levels, right? As an avid reader and a huge Game of Thrones fan. Can we talk about it? This is my channel, isn't it? We're going to talk about it really quickly. So, I feel like the battle for Winterfell, that was an amazing episode. Probably the best episode of the whole final season. But that episode felt like it should have been like the grand finale. Like, you know, you tease the White Walkers for all these seasons, and then you end it. And then you have a bunch of episodes afterwards to like close loopholes in your story. And then obviously we know Daenerys, and they felt like they didn't character develop enough and do very well with her and her turn to the dark side, so to speak, and then getting killed by Jon Snow. I mean, we saw that coming. Who didn't see that coming? But I just felt like we could have had like this glorious battle. Maybe they got defeated at Winterfell, the good guys, and then they like flee on the Iron Fleet maybe, and then end up in King's Landing, and then the last great stand and great battle is there. I don't know. I like to write too sometimes, but where am I going? Where am I going today?
Avenged by a kid with no bones. Your own story ended worse than Game of Thrones. Your son.
And like we talked about, and my complaint with the Viking series was Ragnar's story did end just, so abruptly. Like, he was just such a crucial character, and he's one of the reasons why I watched it. And it was really hard to watch the rest of the seasons. Even though Bjorn Ironside was a badass, Ivar the Boneless was fun to watch him get into trouble and create mischief. Still, just wasn't the same.
You got avenged by a kid with no bones.
And after Ragnar died, his sons, the sons of Ragnar, went back and raided Northumbria and basically just looted and destroyed that part of England and avenged Ragnar's death. And then they killed the king who killed Ragnar. Oh my god, and they gave him the Blood Eagle. The Blood Eagle is badass if you guys have never seen the Blood Eagle.
Your own story ended worse than Game of Thrones. Your son killed your ex killed your wife. I'm the Lion King, man, but that's a messed up circle of life. Can't
That is the best bar so far. I'm the Lion King, man. Richard, the Lionheart, playing off of that. The circle of life. We got that. We got Lion King bars. But I love how he's saying that's messed up because, hang on, what was it? Your ex. Hang on.
Your own story ended worse than Game of Thrones. Your son killed your ex killed your wife.
Your son killed your ex killed your wife. So that was Lagertha. That got killed by Vitserk, and he was all messed up on drugs. And then obviously Lagertha killed why can't I think of her name? I can't think of her name. But Ragnar's second wife, Lagertha, killed her. So there we go. Round and round we go. The glorious circle of life for Vikings.
Lion King, man, but that's a messed up circle
That's
of
a good
life.
bar.
Half-ass head taps can't be condoned. It's like you raided the face of Post.
Tats, because Post Malone has tattoos all over his face and head. Shots fired at Post Malone. Smooth, smooth. I love the historical bars flex when we do that. And what was the story of Sicily? Yeah, he went there because... Why did he go to Sicily? Was it his sister? His sister was widowed. The ruler of Sicily had died. So he went there to free her because she got locked up by whoever was ruling at the time, and then ransom. But they freed her, but they never paid the ransom. So Richard was like, all right, you don't want to pay. No, it wasn't the ransom. It was the inheritance. And Richard was like, yeah, you don't want to pay the inheritance? Well, I'm just going to stroll down into the capital and just burn everything. And that's what he did. That was his day off. He just burned and destroyed. And then, yeah, they gave him money and came to an agreement. That's how you get things done, people, back then. Life was so much simpler. Just loot and pillage a city and get what you want.
Whoa, I'm back by the Trinity.
Now, obviously, the Trinity lines, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Yeah, we got
Conquer
that.
you on my day off like you were Sicily.
Threatening to conquer Ragnar is bold. For a king who got whacked by a 10-year-old, I'll sacrifice.
Threatening to conquer Ragnar is bold. That's a terrible reiteration, but I love how he's speaking with that sort of accentuated, like, Norwegian accent to the English, like the Viking accent, like they use in the series too. Hey, well done to Lloyd, man. That's very good. He does a really good job with his voices. Like when he played Pennywise, that was so good, man. So I love this. I love the facial expressions, everything that he's doing right now. He's fitting the character well.
Threatening to conquer Ragnar is
Look at that.
bold. For a king who got whacked by a 10-year-old, I'll sacrifice.
And let's talk about the bar. Let's talk about how much that hurts. Because as the story goes, Richard was killed by a 10-year-old. He was shot with a crossbow by a 10-year-old assassin who was exclaiming revenge for Richard killing his family. Yeah, you want to talk circle of life. How about that?
Threatening to conquer Ragnar is bold. For a king who got whacked by a 10-year-old, I'll sacrifice you to Odin while drinking horns of mead. Good thing you hold the red cross, cause that's who you're going to need. You build
Drinking horns of mead. He really is getting into character for this. And obviously Odin, the All-Father, right? They think that if they die in battle, they will go to the halls of Valhalla where Odin sits, drink mead from their massive drinking horns, and yeah, party on. So he's saying, you want to sacrifice people. They sacrifice live human people sometimes. That happens.
Odin while drinking horns of mead. Good thing you hold the red cross, cause that's who you're going to need.
I didn't even catch that line. I didn't even catch that line because the other line was so good. What a great double right there. Playing off of the Red Cross, right? The Red Cross Society, the organization. So the Red Cross that's on his shield that he represented, his emblem, but also like the modern day Red Cross, and I'm going to send you to the hospital.
To Odin while drinking horns of mead. Good thing you hold the red cross, cause that's who you're going to need. You built your army by raising English taxes. I raised my army taxing English asses with my axes. And who are you?
You raise your army by raising English taxes. And here's the thing. Robin Hood originates from, whatchamacallit, from Richard's brother, from John, right? And it was John who got all the blame for raising taxes and taxing the poor and everyone. And then obviously the story of Robin defending his lands and dealing with shit in France. So basically he just, yeah, ran England dry to raise money to go on his crusades. And even when later on in life, when he was in prison, they raised taxes again to set him free. So yeah, there's a history of that. That's a good line. And then playing off of the taxes because he raised his army. So you're raising taxes, whereas my army has been raised through bloodshed. They've honed their skills through taxing English asses. That's good. That's a good one. Let's go.
I raised my army taxing English asses with my axes.
Ooh, and listen to that heavy metal guitar. Dun-dun. Yeah.
You built your army by raising English taxes. I raised my army taxing English asses with my axes.
Nice.
Who are you to talk about the circle of life? Your old lady can't feel the love on any night. Your only son.
That is a great flip on that. What a nice rebuttal. Can you feel the love tonight? Yeah, I know. I'm going to come back as a famous singer. You can call me Knox Collins. But basically, the Lion King bar, so he takes that, flips it on Richard. And again, I love how we're using actual parts of history within the bars to flip it on them because Richard never produced a son with his wife. Like he never produced an heir. So obviously you must not be getting it on. Something's wrong in the bedroom.
About the circle of life, your old lady can't feel the love on any night. Your only son was illegitimate, you aired on the side. Twist your spine like the end of the Plantagenet line.
That's it. That was their name.
Your only son was illegitimate.
So his only son was illegitimate, which is true. He got with some woman through his crusades.
You aired on the side.
You aired on the side. That's very clever. Aired, but also aired, like an error. You made an error on the side because you had this chick on the side having an illegitimate child, but then aired on the side because you didn't actually produce an heir. You sliding on the side. So technically on the side, your brother John is who became king. That's a real. There's some really good bars from Ragnar.
You can't feel the love on any night. Your only son was illegitimate, you aired on the
I don't know why, but Lloyd scares me. The way that he looks holding those two axes in his hand. He's having a little bit too much fun on this one.
side. Twist your spine like the end of the Plantagenet line.
So Plantagenet, that was the name of his family. I'll twist your spine like the end of it. But he wasn't the end of it. Because like I said before, like they ruled a long time in England. Like the end of the Plantagenet line. What was the name? What was his name? Was it Richard III? Which one was it? The end of his line in England before the Tudors succeeded. And then before Henry came and took over. Yeah, he was the last one of his... Oh my God. And didn't he have like sclerosis? Twisting up of his spine? He had issues, spinal issues. Twist it like... Ragnar is going to twist up his spine. He's going to kill him.
Probably speak English.
I'm just a warrior. I'm not a linguist. I really am not doing good at imitating how they're saying it, but I just, again, I love how into character Lloyd is for this one. And what a great bar that is. And I pointed this out earlier as well, that, yeah, King Richard was French. He didn't even speak English, and he ruled England. That's a great fucking bar. I'm not all my time in England. Jaffa cakes are pretty good. So like a piece of cake, like it was so easy, the saying, but also Jaffa, the city, Jaffa cake, like the sweets. Let's go. And that's what he took on the Crusades.
Probably speak English. You took Acre and Jaffa like a piece of cake, but never attacked Jerusalem for Christ's sake. Saw the Holy Land, but couldn't Jaffa like a piece of cake, but never attacked Jerusalem for Christ's sake. Saw the
I'm giving this to Lloyd. I'm giving this to Lloyd today. This is such a good verse. But you never took Jerusalem for Christ's sake, like the saying, like, oh my God, for Christ's sake, come on now. But also literally taking Jerusalem for the sake of Christ. And yeah, that's true. Richard never took Jerusalem. He came to an agreement with Saladin, the one leading the Arabs. Like they just had a treaty. He never ended up marching on Jerusalem, so they came to an agreement. So yeah, what was the whole point of the Crusades if you're not going to go take back Jerusalem like you put in the flyer when you got everyone to join with the cause?
Acre and Jaffa like a piece of cake, but never attacked Jerusalem.
Is he? He's doing this in the background. Watch this. This is a smooth dance move. This is what I pull out when things get desperate on the dance floor and I need to win the battle.
Probably speak English. You took Acre and Jaffa like a piece of
Look at that. Oh no, he's shaking. He's doing the shimmy in the background. I like that axe shimmy.
cake, but never attacked Jerusalem for Christ's sake. Saw the Holy Land, but couldn't go all the way. We should call it the Crusade of Richard the First Base. Sail back.
That's good. Oh. Maybe I am biased because I do really like Ragnar. I mean, I haven't really hit that, have I? But, you know, Richard, you only went to first. Like, you're only making out with her. Like, you couldn't go all the way around. You couldn't bring it back home, could you? You didn't take Jerusalem. You failed in the end. The whole purpose of your mission. Richard, the first base, the sexual bars. I like it. I like it.
Land, but couldn't go all the way. We should call it the Crusade of Richard the First Base.
Sail back north with your barbarian goon, because I'm tearing down your legacy, leaving it in ruins. Your real self.
Tearing down your legacy, leave it in ruins. Leave it in ruins, but also leave it in runes, like the Viking runes that they would write in. Nice.
North with your barbarian goon, because I'm tearing down your legacy, leaving it in ruins.
And then your legacy. And what was it? I mean, it was prophesized, at least in the history series, that his sons would be greater than him and his legacy wouldn't last truly like his sons would. So I love how they're playing on the legacy bars. And also you talk about like the actual legacy of Ragnar versus the legacy that was created in the series itself.
Sail sail back north with your barbarian goons. Because I'm tearing down your legacy, leaving it in ruins. Your real self next to your legend disappoints. I see you shaking in your shaggy little pants like zoinks. Who would...
Well, first, that was a good setup right there. Like I'm talking about.
Next to your legend disappoints.
Your real self next to your legend disappoints. And there it is, right there. Because, yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to exaggerate. It's made for TV. It's a drama. You want to captivate the audience. So, you know, you're going to embellish things that happen versus what actually happened in history. But it's so true. I mean, before the Viking series, people didn't really know about Ragnar Lothbrok. Like, they just didn't know about him. Whereas you are taught in school about Richard I and Richard the Lionheart. So... Good bars. But then, follow up really good bars, but just something so left field. I gotta watch this one more time.
On your legacy, leaving it in ruins. Your real self next to your legend disappoints. I see you shaking in your shaggy little pants like zoinks.
I see you shaking in your shaggy... We just had Scooby-Doo bars pulled out of nowhere. That was literally out of left field. Shaggy pants like Shaggy, your scruff, right? But also Shaggy, like one of his... catchphrases is zoinks. So yeah, that how does that connect? I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one, Peter. That seems like a little bit of lazy writing to me. I mean, obviously it's a nice bar with the double, but there's been a lot of really good bars that still like have doubles and triples connected to the history or something that kind of ties in some way. In this case, I'm not seeing fully the Scooby-Doo to the Viking badass connection here.
Real self next to your legend disappoints. I see you shaking in your shaggy little pants like zoinks. Who invented the royal me? We. Who's the predominantly...
The royal we. But they played off that. Who invented the royal me? So it's just like, yeah, it's just a way of using yourself if you're in a position of authority or high prestige as a pronoun. So the royal we are not impressed with you. What you do.
Shaggy little pants like zoinks. Who invented the royal me? We. Who's the predominantly fictional MC? Lee. You're a wannabe, mon ami.
I knew, this has been going through my head this whole battle. I'm like, is he really going to start pushing in this pressure point? Because that to me is one of the bigger pressure points you can push in with Ragnar. And like I touched on, then they touched on, and then I talked about a little bit more. There's a lot of touchy-feely stuff going on, isn't there? Get out of that box, Knox. So... basically, it's all about the legacy. That's the biggest beef that you can take up and kind of push at Ragnar is all about that legacy. And if it wasn't for the TV series, again, you wouldn't... I mean, the fictional Ragnar is so much more loved than the actual historical one.
Royal me, we. Who's the predominantly fictional MC? Lee. You're a wannabe.
And obviously playing off the language the, because they used the back then. Clever.
Who invented the royal me? We. Who's the predominantly fictional MC? Lee. You're a wannabe, mon ami. Kneel down and honor me. Richard coming through in the end like Sean Connery. The double coronation.
All right, kneel down and honor me. We got more. You know, give fellatio, kneel down. See what he's doing there. But also he uses the mon ami, and I like that because there's the French. There's the French coming in because he was French. He knew French. You know, spent more time in France than he did in England. So I love how he kind of takes that and owns that a little bit with the mon ami bars. And then we got Sean Connery making a guest appearance real quick. How does that fucking connect?
Honor me, kneel down and honor me. Richard coming through in the end like Sean Connery. The double coronation.
Sean Connery ever play Richard I in something? I don't fucking know. Somebody's gonna have to tell me below. I can't spend that long on it.
Blood and gore, me. You might have the axe, but I make a body spray. Laying hearts of sober king.
Really?
Blood and gore, me. You might have the axe, but I make a body spray.
You might have the axe, because Ragnar loved his axe. The Viking axes. My wife always complains about the axe violence, which is just somehow so enjoyable to watch in Vikings. But axe body spray, you know, spraying that axe. I like that, but he will make a body spray and just blood and guts everywhere with that gourmet and that picture that he was painting. That's a good one.
The double coronated blood and gourmet. You might have the axe, but I make a body spray. Lionheart's a sober K, but I'll strike like a cobra. If I wanna...
Lionheart's a sober K. Oh, he's using fancy words on us now. That's the moniker. Lionheart, like that's his nickname, sober K.
Might have the axe, but I make a body spread. Lion hearts are sober, came and I struck like a cobra. If I wanted to fight loser Vikings, I'd go to Minnesota.
You want to fight me?
No, they didn't. You didn't have to do Minnesota like that. Listen, I'm a DC boy, so, you know, Kirk Cousins signed a big deal, went to Minnesota. Yeah, it didn't really work out for you, did it, Minnesota? How's that taste? How's all those playoff victories taste? Yeah. All right, that's as long as we're going to spend on that. But obviously the Minnesota Vikings team playing off of them being actual Vikings, I like that. I like that one. See, and that's an example, though, of a kind of a left field reference, but it still connects playing off of the Vikings versus the Scooby-Doo bars that I didn't see as much of the connection. I like the writing like this, in this direction.
Like a cobra. If I wanted to fight loser Vikings, I'd go to Minnesota.
You want to fight me? Take off the thin shirt. I'll be waiting in my birthday suit, going berserk. Ding dang dong, morning bell.
Oh, that's dope. I'll be waiting in my birthday suit. And the Vikings, you know, they talk about going berserk, and it's like going in the zone, but you go into like this blood rage, this bloodlust, right? And, you know, you just fight. You don't care about clothes and armor or anything. You just go full on berserk. So I love how he's saying, you know, take off the chainmail, take off that tin shirt, and let's see who the real man is. You know, I'm about to go berserk in this bitch.
The thin shirt. I'll be waiting in my birthday suit, going berserk. Ding dang dong, morning bells warn about me at the break.
Ding dang dong, right? Because he's naked in his birthday suit. So his dinger, his dang, dong, his dong, schlong, yeah, all playing off of that. We got more dick jokes, but also like ding dang dong, warn about me, like bells warning about me.
In my birthday suit, going berserk. Ding dang dong, morning bells warn about me at the break of dawn. And I'm putting you to sleep like your brother John. Living monks and chunks on north of...
Oh, that's tough. Yeah, because John was killed too. Go after the family if you really want to push the pressure points.
Break of dawn, and I'm putting you to sleep like your brother John. Living monks and chunks on Northumbrian lawns, cause I'm the all-father spawn. You couldn't even...
I mean, and they play off of this in the series too. Like, he sees visions of Odin, and it's rumored that Ragnar was descended from Odin. I mean, we've seen it in different civilizations and different religions, you know, when you assume divine authority because you're ascended from a god. So he's playing off of that, but he's the all-father spawn. So it's almost like he's taken that royalness and he's flipped it by being like a spawn. It almost seems more demonic and dark and twisted. And then what was the other one that I want to point out?
Living monks and chunks.
Oh yeah, leaving the monks and chunks in Northumbria, right? Again, because he raided Northumbria and caused havoc. Basically, they raided and they pillaged. But also Vikings were dope explorers too. I mean, Leif Erikson was one of the original Europeans to go to America. Yeah, they discovered a lot. They did a lot of sailing. They were adventurers. They were great traders too. So Vikings were badass, right? And they had a very specific code of conduct and rules that they followed to their life. But yes, they also did sacrifice people and do horrible, terrible things as well. I kind of want to be a Viking, but without all of the negative press. Can that happen?
About me at the break of dawn, and I'm putting you to sleep like your brother John. Living monks and chunks on Northumbrian lawns, cause I'm the all-father spawn. You couldn't even beat a salad in a fight. You're a self-dismounted fight. All-father spawn. You couldn't even beat a salad in a fight. Northumbrian lawns, cause I'm the all-father spawn. You couldn't even beat a salad in a fight.
Obviously, the face value is you're so weak. You know, it's almost like you can't handle this meat. You can't handle the raw bloodiness. You couldn't even beat something so green and harmless like a salad. But salad in a fight, Saladin. I'm pretty sure, like we talked about earlier, his great nemesis, who he ended up signing a treaty with, Saladin. But he did defeat Saladin. Didn't he defeat him at... He defeated him in the Holy Land, but he didn't defeat him at Jerusalem. So ultimately, you didn't beat him because he did sign a treaty, but he did defeat him in battle. Oh, camera gone. Sorry guys, camera died, but we are back. So where was I? Yeah, talking about the Saladin bar, salad in a fight. I think that's why he pauses right there to kind of let that just sink in for a second, because yeah, that is a dope. That's probably the best bar so far. That wordplay right there. Hang on.
Spawn. You couldn't even beat a salad in a fight. You're a Monty Python. Nice.
Nice.
You went from chainmail to chained up in jail.
Monty Python, yeah. And they do the Monty Python. I like the Monty Python shout out as well.
You yourself this Monty Python nights. You went from chainmail to chained up in jail to mommy drained England to pay for your bail. But no king's ransom.
That's good. Mommy, hang on.
Chained up in jail to mommy drained England to pay for your bail. But no king's ransom
Ooh.
will save you from these bars, son.
Wow, he just took that so many really good schemes from Ragnar in this, man. You guys know where I'm going with this one. But it was the when he was in Austria, wasn't it? And then he was arrested, thrown in jail, and then he was sent to the Holy Roman Emperor, and he was still kept in jail. They had a huge ransom for him, and basically his family went, mommy went, and they taxed the hell out of England in order to pay for his ransom. And then you play off of that with the king's ransom. No king's ransom. That is clever. Can save you from these bars. These bars that I'm spitting, the bars is in the prison bars that he was trapped in. Man, there are layers and layers to that one.
Betrayed England to pay for your bail. But no king's ransom will save you from these bars, son. I'm eating you alive like the gangrene you died from.
I mean, yeah, that's hard. That is a tough way to end it, because gangrene literally will eat at your flesh and eat you alive and you rot away. So the gangrene that you died from, I'm eating you alive in this battle. I'm tearing you apart, because after he was shot with the arrow by the kid, basically gangrene is what ultimately killed him. That is tough. And is that an image of him like holding his chest like where he was shot? That would be dope if that is.
I'm eating you alive like the gangrene you died from.
No. Man, I always love these epic beats. Such a great build to it all.
Thank you to Rise of Kingdoms for sponsoring this video.
Hi, Teddy.
Rise of Kingdoms is a mobile real-time strategy game.
Oh, right. Oh, we got ads. We're not doing that. Wow. This video is going to be long as it is. I got to pick a winner quickly. I'm going to pick Ragnar. You know I'm going to pick Ragnar. I just love... Some of the bars were more fun to me. I mean, Richard had some really good bars. Really good historical references. Obviously, playing off of the legacy, which is the good one. The good depth bars besides just the dick jokes. But, man, Ragnar was nasty. Ragnar was nasty, and some really clever writing on this one, especially the Saladin bars. Yeah, there was a lot of good lines to Ragnar's, man. So Ragnar, ERB, you were Knox Hill certified. So hope you guys liked today's video. If you did, be sure to smash that like button. Comment down below any other ERBs you want to see me do, or if there's other artists you want to see me check out. I try to read all of your comments, guys. I'll respond as much as I can, so please keep commenting and keep posting. Also, if you're here at the end of this video, do me a favor, subscribe with notifications on, and support the channel directly. As always, this is your reminder to stay safe, to stay positive. It's Knox Hill. I'll catch you again. I'm out.